about AI. I've taken to talking to AI in the car, dialing back the playlists and podcasts. We work through ideas on business, my art, and realistic and sometimes far-reaching AI use cases. Today we're talking about AI in education. If you're wondering, this is my actual conversation with a chatbot where we verbally talk back and forth. What you're listening to is a slimmed down transcript just to cut down on the time, but it is the actual discussion then fed through text-to-voice AI to generate what you're hearing. This is my clone voice and a completely made-up collaborator voice.
And that would be me.
So, wake up, sleepyhead. It's time for school. I've been thinking about AI in education lately. It seems the use of AI in learning could be applied in a lot of different ways, like auto-tailored lessons or training, tuning to the style of the individual, dynamically creating new material based on objectives and so on. That said, over this past year, the initial reaction from schools focused on cheating, things they weren't prepared to deal with. But it seems that that's such an important aspect of how life will be, including professional lives, that it's important for people to understand how to use AI, and maybe it's important for us to start thinking about how to weave it into education and not just view it as a way to cheat. What are your initial thoughts here?
You've touched on a critical point about AI in education. The potential for personalised learning is immense. Analysing learning style, pace, areas of strength and difficulty, or creating customised lesson plans. This can be a game changer in schools and professional training, making education more effective and engaging. Regarding AI and cheating, it's a real concern. Schools are grappling with this issue, but it's also an opportunity to rethink assessments. Instead of traditional tests, we might see more project-based evaluations where AI's role is to guide and assist rather than provide answers.
That's really curious. I hadn't really thought about the nature of testing changing. Tell me more about what you're thinking. I guess it would have to change from just regurgitating information on command. That's too easy for AI to do for you. How could this project-based testing play out?
Well, instead of focusing on memorization and regurgitation, project-based testing emphasizes applying knowledge in real-world scenarios like developing a business plan, conducting a scientific experiment, or creating a software program. These projects require critical thinking, problem-solving, and creativity. AI can assist as a guide, provide resources, suggest improvements, or even simulate real-world conditions for the project. The focus shifts from merely getting the right answer to demonstrating understanding and the ability to apply knowledge. This approach also prepares students better for the workforce, where problem-solving and adaptability are key. It's a more holistic way of learning and assessment, aligned with the skills needed in an AI-augmented world.
But education requires measurements, right? Did the student or trainee really grasp a concept? Even in your examples of creating a business plan or writing code, AI can do that. How do you see AI providing the evaluation, not just the guidance?
You're right, measuring understanding is crucial. AI could evaluate by analysing the process rather than just the end product. It's like showing your math along with the answer. It can evaluate how one gets to the answer, not just what the answer is. Another way to look at this might be to rethink how projects are set up for students expecting AI to be used and forcing the student to be engaged.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, imagine instead of asking a student to write a paper on a given topic, ask the student to ask AI to help write a paper on a given topic. The AI could assist from honing the idea down through completing the final text, but the evaluation is in how the student interacted with the AI to get the final output. Not only could the full interaction be turned in to be graded, the AI could also be grading along the way, in addition to assisting the student.
I guess this would be a good place for educators and the AI to work together to come up with new ways to engage students, but also in figuring out new ways to grade them. This feels like a hard problem that's in many ways operational. This would require educating the educators on the technology, but also on how to rethink their overall approach. Perhaps testing might fall back to more in-person evaluations, like stand up in front of the class and describe how you did a thing. Maybe that doesn't scale well.
AI can be instrumental in guiding the learning process, providing resources, and preliminary evaluations. However, the educator's role becomes even more crucial in validating the authenticity and depth of the student's understanding. And how that is done may be very different from what teachers are used to. The idea of real-time evaluations between the educator and the student or in front of the class is compelling. It ensures that the student can articulate their thought process, demonstrating genuine understanding. The educator can ask probing questions, adapted to each student's project, to assess their comprehension. But it is true, this may not scale for all kinds of projects.
Let's switch to how the AI could be used in collaborative projects with multiple students. I'm thinking that there might be a way for AI to be able to pair students together based on individual learning styles, knowledge, and capabilities. Like where somebody who is strong in one area might be paired with somebody who is strong in another, filling gaps, so that the human collaboration between peers is still part of that learning process. You got any ideas on how that might work?
That's a fascinating idea. AI can analyze individual student profiles to create balanced, complementary teams. This would ensure a diverse mix of skills and perspectives. This not only fosters a collaborative learning environment, but also mirrors real-world scenarios where diverse teams often yield the best results. AI could monitor group dynamics and progress, offering guidance or interventions when necessary. Such an approach enhances the learning experience by integrating social learning, peer-to-peer education, and the development of soft skills like communication and teamwork.
Let me ask you this. What are some of the challenges that you think one might face trying to incorporate AI into education?
Integrating AI into education faces several challenges. First, there's the issue of access and equity. Not all schools or regions have the same level of technology and could widen educational disparities if not addressed. Training educators is another major hurdle. Significant time and resources may be needed to familiarise teachers with AI tools and how to integrate them into their teaching methods. There's a concern about over-reliance on AI. Balancing technology with traditional teaching methods is crucial to ensure that students develop a broad range of skills. Privacy and data security are critical too. Relying on large amounts of student data raises concerns about how this data is used and protected. Lastly, there's the challenge of adapting curriculum and assessment methods. Rethinking schoolwork, assignments, and testing would be a significant effort.
Okay. What do you think would be the simplest first step to trying to bring something like this into a classroom? And say there's a very forward-thinking teacher. What would be the simplest case to see if something like this would work?
One might start with a simple, easily accessible AI tool that complements the existing curriculum. A great first step could be simply using AI to help the teacher prepare for various lessons. For example, using AI for administrative tasks, grading, or organising classroom activities. This may provide inspiration and free up time so the educator could more easily think through new approaches. I'd also involve students in the process, encouraging them to give feedback on the AI tools. This would help in evaluating the effectiveness of AI in the classroom and engage students.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that idea about starting with helping organize and prepare the educator as a first step. It sounds safe and non-invasive, helping the teacher understand how to use the tools, how the technology can provide insight, and let their enthusiasm for teaching drive them to find ways to implement it in their classroom. And I agree that involving the students would really be helpful. In fact, the act of coming up with classroom activities could itself be a classroom activity where the teacher is opening up discussion and inputting things into something as simple as ChatGPT. And then talking about the responses with the classroom to get them involved in the process as well. I like this.
Absolutely. Using AI as a collaborative tool between educators and students is a great approach. It not only familiarises the teacher with AI's capabilities, but also actively engages students in their own learning process. This can be both educational and inspiring.
This past year, students were already figuring out how to cheat on tests and papers, and they were actually getting out ahead of the educators. Having students involved in the process could really help teach the teacher, helping drive some of these new paradigms since they may be a few steps ahead. Not to mention that some students likely mastered this new technology where others may not have. This can be an opportunity to share their experiences and spread that knowledge around.
That's an insightful perspective. Involving students in the process engages them, leverages their expertise, and can encourage ownership of how AI is used. This may excite them and prepare them for a world that will increasingly rely on AI in their future.
What about using AI in more physical activities? Now, there's a lot of discussion around how AI helps, but not in ways that require manual dexterity. There are some things that are part of the educational process, like sports, music, the arts, that aren't strictly intellectual, but using your body to do stuff. So what are some ideas for how AI can help here?
Integrating AI into physical activities like sports, music, and arts is indeed a growing area with exciting possibilities. In sports, AI can analyse videos of athletes providing feedback on technique, identify areas for improvement, and even predict and prevent injuries by noticing subtle patterns in movements. And in music education, AI can analyse a student's performance, provide feedback on timing, pitch, and rhythm. Advanced systems could even suggest exercises to improve specific skills or adapt musical pieces to match the student's proficiency level. For arts, AI can offer a digital canvas for experimentation. It can suggest colour schemes, compositions, or even collaborate in creating artworks. These applications not only enhance learning in their respective fields, but also contribute to the development of fine motor skills, coordination, and artistic expression.
Actually, I could see a sports team using some of their practice time for just plain strategic discussion. Straight up talking to AI, describing what they know works well for them or not, discussing their approach or strategies, and having AI be an assistant coach in a sense.
That's a great application of AI in sports coaching. Having team members discuss their experiences, strategies, and challenges with an AI system. AI can combine this information with data from past performances and provide tailored suggestions for each player. This can foster a more analytical approach to sports, not to mention boost team communication and collaboration. Players can learn to think critically about their techniques and strategies.
Visual art is personal for me. I spend a lot of time talking with AI, just like I am now, critiquing my artwork, using computer vision to discuss my work, talking through my thoughts, what I'm trying to accomplish, getting feedback. Critiques are really important in artistic development. There's an opportunity here to encourage young artists to do this, folding it into the curriculum. Brainstorming and ideation, ways to expand on the work, and having a collaborator. Perhaps bringing those critiques back to the actual classroom for group discussion. There's a lot of criticism around AI being used in art today. Like, this misses the point, in my opinion. There are so many opportunities with AI to guide and teach art to those that are wanting to grow.
The idea of AI as a collaborator and critic in the creative process can be a valuable tool for young artists. Uploading artwork and discussing it with AI, students can gain insights into their work's composition, colour theory, and even emotional impact. This can help them reflect on their artistic choices and develop their style. Moreover, using AI can inspire students to explore new concepts and techniques they might not have considered, broadening the students' artistic horizons. Discussing AI-generated critiques in the classroom may also be beneficial. It can spark interesting conversations about art interpretation and the role of technology in creative expression. AI can be a tool for exploration, learning, and personal growth in the arts, helping students to see new possibilities and expand their creative skills.
You mentioned something about music that I thought was really intriguing. Creating dynamic music lessons based on the students' capabilities. Normally, music students would start with some compositions that are of a certain level. As they improve, they move on to different pieces and more complex arrangements. But perhaps having one song that is progressively made more complex over time, dynamically, would allow students to be able to leverage what they've learned, adding in just the parts that are necessary for them to grow. I'm not saying anything against playing a variety of songs, just speculating there may be a benefit to dynamically modifying a known song to isolate something specific to work on. But what do I know? I don't know how to play in music.
Your idea for dynamic music lessons aligns well with personalized learning approaches. Starting with a simple version of a song and gradually increasing its complexity, students can build their skills more organically. Allow them to focus on mastering one piece at a time, deepening their understanding and proficiency with each iteration. This could be used to change a piece's tempo, key, or even rearrange it to a different music style. Adapt to whatever the student needed to or wanted to work on, providing practice exactly where it's needed. Incorporating AI in this way can revolutionize music education, making it more adaptive, focused, and efficient. It's a great example of how technology can be used to enhance traditional learning methods.
Consider someone opposed to AI, for whatever reason. They are a doomsdayer, or they're just resistant to having technology in the classroom. What do you think their primary complaints or concerns might be?
If someone is opposed to AI in education, their primary concerns might center around a few key issues. They might worry about data privacy and security, or the fear of over-reliance on technology, or even concerns about equity. Ensuring all students have equal access to AI tools and resources, avoiding a digital divide. These are valid concerns that need to be thoughtfully addressed as we integrate AI into educational settings.
Yeah, equity, biases, privacy, these are definitely the top of mind topics for anyone concerned about AI in general. But I'm curious what you mean by being over-reliant on technology. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Over-reliance on AI is based on the fear that technology could overshadow the human elements of teaching and learning. There's a worry that if AI becomes too central, it might lead to a decrease in direct teacher-student interactions, which are crucial for emotional, social, and moral development. Additionally, it could result in a one-size-fits-all approach, where nuances of individual student needs, learning styles, and cultural backgrounds are overlooked. While AI can personalize learning to a certain extent, it might not fully capture the complexity and diversity of human learning experiences.
See, makes sense.
Students might also become too dependent on AI for solutions, hindering their ability to think independently and critically. In this case, AI could stifle creativity and problem-solving skills, as students might lean too much on the technology. Balancing the use of AI with traditional, human-centric teaching methods is essential. The goal is to use AI as a tool to enhance education, not to replace the invaluable human elements.
Can you describe other challenges not directly related to AI and the student? I mean, where else might concerns about AI in education surface?
Certainly, there are several other challenges and concerns regarding AI in education, beyond its direct interaction with students. First, teacher training and adaptability. Preparing teachers to effectively integrate AI into their teaching may be difficult. This includes not only understanding the technology, but also adapting teaching methods to leverage AI effectively. Then there's infrastructure and funding. Implementing AI in education often demands substantial investment in infrastructure, like high-speed internet and suitable devices. Next, curriculum development. Integrating AI into the curriculum isn't just about using new tools. It's about rethinking what we teach and how we teach it. Even without AI, developing a new curriculum is a complex task. Of course, there's the ethical and moral concern. As AI becomes more prevalent, there's a need to teach students about the ethical use of technology, including biases, data privacy, and the ethical implications of AI decisions. And finally, keeping pace with rapid technological change. The field of AI is evolving rapidly. It will take a lot of work to keep up with changes, updating the tools and methods used. These challenges require a coordinated effort among educators, policymakers, technologists, and other stakeholders to ensure that the integration of AI into education is beneficial, equitable, and sustainable.
What kind of students might not benefit from AI? And let's not consider students that don't have the resources, devices, or the technology. Just assume they have the technology. What students may have challenges working with AI?
In a scenario where technology access isn't an issue, there are still certain student groups who might face challenges benefiting from AI in education. For one, students with special educational needs. The AI tools, unless specifically designed for this purpose, might not effectively cater to students with unique learning disabilities or developmental disorders. These students often require highly individualized and specialized teaching approaches. For another, students relying heavily on social learning. Some students thrive in collaborative peer environments and might find AI tools less engaging. They benefit from human interaction, group activities, and discussions, which might not be adequately replicated by AI. Then there's creative thinkers and problem solvers. Some students who excel in creative thinking and complex problem solving might find the AI a little too structured or limiting. And students with different cultural backgrounds. AI tools might not be built to understand and incorporate diverse cultural perspectives. In this case, technology may not be as flexible as a traditional human teacher. These challenges highlight the importance of ensuring that human teaching and interaction continue to play a vital role in addressing the diverse needs of all students.
What do you think is a good topic to end on? We've covered some good areas. We didn't really get into the technology so much, or the very low level, but that's okay. What do you think we should close this out talking about?
Discussing the role of AI in fostering critical thinking and creativity is crucial. AI isn't just about automating tasks or providing information. It's increasingly about challenging students to think differently. In a classroom enhanced by AI, students can engage with complex problems, explore various solutions, and even create new concepts or designs. AI can present scenarios or problems that require students to apply their knowledge in innovative ways. It can stimulate creativity by suggesting unconventional approaches or by providing a wealth of resources for inspiration. This kind of environment encourages students to think beyond standard solutions, fostering a mindset that values creativity and critical analysis. Moreover, by interacting with AI, students learn to question and understand the technology itself. They develop a critical perspective on the capabilities and limitations of AI, which is a crucial skill in our tech-driven world. So AI in education is not just about imparting knowledge. It's about shaping thinkers and creators who can navigate and contribute to a rapidly evolving technological landscape.
All very good points. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me about this. I know that AI in education is going to be so important moving forward and probably really challenging. We've only scratched the surface for sure, but it's very enlightening to be able to talk through all the different uses, even if we don't get into the details. Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to hear you found our discussion enlightening. Talking about the potential and challenges of AI in education is indeed a fascinating topic, and it's great to explore these ideas together. Remember, this field is constantly evolving, so there's always more to learn and discuss. If you ever want to dive back into this or any other topic, feel free to reach out. Thank you for the engaging conversation, and I'm really pleased you enjoyed it.
As we conclude today's enlightening journey through the world of AI in education, it's clear that we're standing at the cusp of a remarkable transformation. From personalized learning to creative collaborations, the future of education is being reshaped right before our eyes. But this conversation doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. If you've enjoyed diving into the depths of AI's potential with us, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support not only fuels this podcast, but also sparks further discussions and explorations into such vital topics. Share this episode with friends, educators, or anyone curious about the future of learning, and don't hesitate to drop your insights and questions in the comments below. We're building a community here, and your voice is a crucial part of this ongoing dialogue. Join us again on Talking to AI about AI, where we unravel the complexities and celebrate the wonders of artificial intelligence. Until next time, keep your minds open, your questions ready, and let's continue this fascinating journey together. Stay curious, and see you in the next episode.